On that wood. I sobered on that wood. Oh my god, what was I gonna talk about? So, don't act like you know it all. Because you don't know shit. Okay? And when I mean don't act like you know all, don't have an ego. Don't have a way of talking as if you understand and know everything that's happening, you know? And there is like this situation with certain things where people misinterpret things because in their own ego they're being a social justice warrior, where it's like maybe actually understand before you pointing fingers, because the same fingers you're pointing can be directed back at yourself. And I say that from personal experience, where, to be honest, I used to feel like I knew all, that my dad was a piece of shit and he was an abuser and all of that, and a drug addict because he took either crack or cocaine. And my mum did this thing where each year she would unveil another law of my father each year from since, I don't know, maybe 14, 15. It's not like an actual tradition. I just noticed as the years go by, she would say the same story, then there's another chapter that's been revealed, and I'm like, oh, oh shit, yeah. And as these chapters unfold, I realize I do not know shit. Especially, I remember it was my aunt's 50th birthday, and we were celebrating, and she had a picture book, and it was a picture of my mum and dad, and I've never seen my dad. This is the first time I've seen my dad. It's probably a core memory. When I die and I look back at my life, it will be a core memory. I've only heard stories of my dad, and then I finally had a picture of him, and it was very emotional. Um, However, I do distinctly remember my mum saying, "Do not judge him. You have no right to judge him, because how you experience him, if you ever meet him, is going to be different to how I experienced him." And at first I was perplexed, because what the fuck, why would I not judge a man who mentally abused my mother, who took her hostage, who made lies about her, who tried to isolate her from her family? It's very perplexing, right? But all I remember is my mum saying, "You do not have a right to judge." And I don't. I do not have a right to judge someone or anyone, as if my shit don't stink. And yes, there are morally general good and bad things. There is. Everyone knows that. When it comes to individuals, especially people close to you, or, something like a distant relative, or you heard a story about someone that you don't really know, but is something that feels close to you, you know, you have to have a grounding point to realize there is more to this, you know. And fortunately, my mum was right. My dad was told from since he was young that he should have never been born. His mother died in a house fire when he was probably 2 or 3. And maybe because of that, it affected his father, my grandfather, to raise him in such a way that caused him to end up running away or something, and somehow he was hanging around pimps and hanging around, I guess, people who were no good for him. And that pretty much caused him to become that individual that my mother experienced for a part of her life. And it sucks. However, as my mom says, I cannot judge him because he might be a different person today. Whether he is still smoking crack or cocaine or whatever the fuck he was doing, or he sobered up, because my mom said the last time she had ever talked to him was when I was in primary school. He was really, really close to where we lived, in a hostel, and he called her and she said, word for word, "What the fuck do you want?" And he said he wanted to apologize for what he did to her, and that he will never ever, that he would leave her and never bother her again. That alone makes me realize people really are complicated and flawed. Because yes, you would say, and anyone would say, the right thing is to say he's a piece of shit. But I can't say he's a piece of shit if I've never known him to be a piece of shit. And especially my mother telling me, give some grace. It's not about forgiveness. And it's not about forgetting. This is different about love and death and all of that, and forgetting someone you love to let them go. I'm talking about let someone be someone. Who they were 5-10 years ago is very different to who they are now, and who they're going to be in the future, if they even have a future, or you meet them in the future. So as I said, do not act like you know it all, because you do not know shit.